Yo. So, I had made some applique. Wait, I had made some crochet flowers. I was attempting to make granny squares, and flowers are what I wound up making. So I had done some math to see how many of them I would need for my project, and wound up making quite a few more than I needed because I'm great at math. So I have a bunch of extra flowers, and this is what I chose to do with four of them. I was gonna just do two, but then I thought, I like a four of them look. So, jean jacket I've been decorating for, year and a half at this point. I don't know. Anyways, I did that 1,000. It's 1,000 French knots in my rainbow, which honestly isn't very many and could use way more. Okay, anyways, and then I did a puff heart patch on the other side. That's all I've done so far. Okay, anyways, so take a hoop and place it where the flowers will be. This is the smallest hoop I have, and it's bigger than the flower, obviously, but it helps keep me in place. How do you say that? And also it helps keep the fabric separated so I don't accidentally sew all the way through. But I'm almost certain I did that at some point, so we'll see. I mean, I'm almost certain I sewed all the way through it. It's been weeks since I did this. There's been a lot going on in my life lately, so I have not done any art like this in literally weeks. I'm glad that I had a bunch backed up, saved from before, and that's exactly why I did it, because there's a lot of health issues between the group, and yeah. So anyways, big, lots of stress, lots going on. And I'm back for a second, sort of, a little bit. Ugh. Anyways, can I also mention the fact that I gained 20 pounds eating chocolate because I found a bunch of chocolate that's soy free. So, like, I have self control. Anyways, goodbye. Whew, I need to not do that, but I love chocolate. Okay, anyways, so what was I even doing? I was appliquing flowers on. So how do you applique a flower on? Oh, look, yeah, I totally sewed through here on the back. So how I fix that is I sew around it wherever I made the little mistake to keep the part I want to keep tacked down. You now make it additional stitches to keep the stitches you wanted. Why are my shoulders the stitches I wanted? Anyways, you tack those down so that when you cut the part you didn't want, which is apparently my head, because my head is a giant French knot to me. Anyways, does this make any sense? I feel mental. I have the sleep. Ooh, it's been bad. It's been so bad. I have actually been sleeping way more than usual, which has been very worrisome. So anyways, you should be appliquing this like normal unless you make a mistake, in which case stitch all the way around wherever you made your mistake, and then when you clip the part that you weren't trying to sew, these ones will stay. Does that make any sense? Why are my shoulders and my head the representation? My dog is rubbing on my couch. It's his couch. I did technically buy it for him. Anyways, there's also a cover on it, but it's next to him. He can do whatever he wants. Also, those are my boyfriend's pillows, and my boyfriend has a little bit of a dog allergy, and guess who's been laying on the pillow? Who would guess? It's not you, is it? It's not this guy. It's not this guy. It's this guy. It's this guy. Hi, sweet baby. Anyways, he can do whatever he wants. I clearly have a train of thought. This is my dog. His name is Malachi. He was found in a dumpster. He had a lot of trauma. We were originally told, you can have the dog. Nobody wants the dog. And we're like, okay, we totally want the dog. And the lady who was going to give the dog to us was like, okay, never mind. We're actually going to see if tons of other people want the dog too. And tons of other people did want him. He's beautiful and sweet. So, yeah, we fought for him. He's ours. Anyways, he kept us safe in some really, really sketch situations. Connecticut was the most terrifying state I've ever been in my entire life, and I will never go back. I don't recommend it. It is not what I expected. But also Pennsylvania and the bugs, okay? So, like, oh my God. The bugs in Pennsylvania are the size of birds, and one of them, we were staying in what's called a KOA, which is Campgrounds of America. Anyways, I was in the laundry room doing some laundry, and we have a really, really big family. So, we took up quite a bit of the KOA. Anyways, here comes one of my sisters. I'm already in the laundry room with my mom and one of the sisters, maybe even two of us. Anyways, here comes another one of the sisters. For reference, I'm the youngest of 8 kids. There's a lot of us. Anyways, here comes one of the sisters running out to the laundry room, and she just slams the door shut, and then you hear this bang, 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 bang. You look over, and there is this, what we were told was a moth, just trying to throw itself into the door to get at my sister for some reason. And then there were some locals in there with us, local adjacent. They local enough to understand Pennsylvania. Okay, that's the first time we had ever been there. Anyways, they all laughed at us and said that thing was a moth. It was the size of a bird. Anyways, what am I doing here? Applique the flower like normal, you know, stitch, whatever that's called. You know, the overstitch. Stitch it however you want, honestly. I mean, it's your project. I do the overstitch because I think it's cute. And then I wanted my flowers to have tails, but I didn't want it to be a usual like stitch tail. I wanted it to be a thicker, this look. I wanted it to be whatever this is that I'm doing. So I took a couple of like 6. It's probably 6 because I think it's just one whole, not a whole skein, but you know, the thickness of a whole skein. I took a little piece of that and then I just applique over it the same way I did with the flowers so that I would have this. It's not a tail, it's called a stem. I would have these stems sticking off. So I start with the bottom ones because they're going to be a lot easier. And then I wanted to make the top ones kind of like wiggle around and meet the bottom ones sort of. And then I realized they weren't quite as, what's the opposite of symmetrical? Symmetrical, but opposited? That's still symmetrical, isn't it? I have brain cells left. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Anyways, so I cut however much of the stuff I feel like I'm going to use, and then I just kind of wiggle it around so that I would have some fun shaped stems. That's what they're called. They're called stems. And then you just applique over it the same way. Is that one a blanket stitch? I was taught to sew when I was really little. Was not taught the stitch names for most stitches. And then when I was told a stitch name, I don't remember stuff. I just do stuff. So I don't know what most stitches are. A lot of the stitches look the same to me. So even if you did tell me like, hey, this one's this and this one's that, I'd be like, they're the same. So my sewing skills, although I've been sewing the vast majority of my life, are still very limited. I don't love to sew, and the motion of sewing hurts my thumb, especially on my left hand. Sewing just isn't the thing that I gravitate towards the most often, but I obviously still do it quite a bit. I like embroidery quite a bit. But I have phases where it's like, what am I focusing on? So right now what I'm focusing on is knit and crochet. So I've realized that some things are substantially faster to knit and some things are substantially faster to crochet. So I knitted a king-sized throw blanket for my bed. I'm currently crocheting the border for it. I should be done with that, you know, in the next 10 to 20 years. I actually think it's only going to take a couple more days, but yeah. Anyways, I don't know how much of this jacket I've actually talked about. I literally don't know what I'm talking about. Obviously, I have brain cells. I've only had 2 of my 4 cups of coffee lately, so I was trying to stop coffee. And I did stop coffee for a while when they said, oh, your heart's blah, blah, all your heart valves are leaking. Ugh. So, you know, I stopped the coffee because caffeine seemed like a really bad thing to add to that. And this, I was so proud of myself for stopping the coffee. You know, chocolate. So I pointed out, somebody pointed out to me that chocolate had caffeine, and I was crushed because I was still having so much chocolate. So I was still having a lot of caffeine. And then I decided, if I'm still having caffeine anyway, let's go back to coffee. But now it's coffee and chocolate sometimes. But I'm allergic to most chocolate. So I had to make a bar of chocolate the other day. And I don't usually watch movies because I have no attention span. Also, it's hard to find a movie you want to watch. So I made a chocolate bar the other day so I could have s'mores, and the movie that I found to watch was Wonka. I thought that was very fitting. Bye.